On this episode of The AutoArchaeologist, I'm looking at the rarest Cuda on the planet. That's right, it's a 1985 Plymouth Cuda. All right, it's October 2024, and I'm documenting the rarest Cuda on the planet. This is the one of one remaining 1985 Plymouth Cuda. And you're gonna go, what the heck was that? It was a brainchild to take Shelby Charger parts and put them on the Plymouth Turismo to make a Plymouth, which I think eventually, didn't it become the TC3 eventually? I think so. Yeah, it eventually became the TC3, but they tried to revive the Cuda name. And this one, and then there was another one that was the opposite of it. It was red with, I think, a white stripe, correct? Black stripe, okay. But only this one remains. The other one I heard had gone to a trade school and then crushed. If it's still out there, you guys let me know. But this one is the only known remaining one that I've heard of. And I've been hunting for this car for 10 years, probably even 20 years. I knew there used to be an article on an old website called Cuda World that went into more detail on this. And I think now that I know that there's an article in Mopar Collector's Guide back in 2000 on the car, I'm going to look more into that, and I'll talk about it here in the video after the main part. But this Cuda was originally intended to be the hot Plymouth. When Carroll Shelby found that Plymouth was taking and putting Shelby Charger parts on the Plymouth, he killed the project immediately, from what I've been told. And so only two of these cars were built, the red one and the white one. The white one here ended up going to the current owner's father, and he was the manager at the training center here in Chicago. Because these were built at the Belvedere Chrysler plant. And then, so it was with his father, and then the current owner needed a car, so he bought it from his dad, and it sat for years out here. Ironically enough, it's actually not far from where I went to college. And I was told by some mutual friends that this car was owned by an individual who has since passed away. And when I eventually asked his son, he didn't know what I was talking about. I'm like, what happened to your dad's 85 Cuda? And he goes, my dad didn't have an 85 Cuda. And I go, oh, well, that doesn't help me any. Okay, so time goes by, and randomly a picture of the car shows up on Facebook. And I'm like, okay, this is an old picture. Nope, it was a recent picture. And my friend Ron Jones knew the owner. I'm like, hey, Ron, can you connect me with the owner? He said, sure. And now me and the owner connected, and he's allowing me the opportunity to document the car. Like I said, the car had been sitting for a while. That's why the interior is mint. Absolutely perfect. The back seat, I don't know how many people have sat in it, but probably not many. It's a 5-speed turbo, and I'll show the engine here in a second. But how cool is that? Same glove box that's on my minivan, I think. White car, red interior, red stripe, sunroof with the aluminum slotted rear window treatment. So this car really had all of the bells and whistles that you could get on it. And even beyond that, this car was meticulously put together, because I've been around many K cars, and I don't know if you're going to be able to tell it on this video, but watch the sound when it closes. Perfect. Ooh, no echoing. It doesn't sound like it's about to fall off the car. This car has a level of quality that I've never seen in a K car, and I've seen a lot of them. But so it is just about perfect. And the owner drives it. Like I said, he takes it to cruise nights in the area, which is phenomenal. And it's going to be, hold on, I'll show you the rear defrost, hatch release, AC car, Has 37,000 miles on the odometer. The Infinity sound system, like on my minivan. This thing is, it's awesome. You have the same radio that's in my minivan. Oh, really? Yeah, I got the Infinity on mine too. All right, and then let me turn this. Well, when I junk out my minivan, you can have the knob. All right, here real quick is the engine. It is the standard Chrysler Turbo. I think it's a 2. Is it a 2.5 or a 2.2? 2.2. Yeah, okay, it's a 2.2 Turbo Chrysler, pre-intercooler, but this thing is as original as it gets. And of course, someone has to roll by on their 4x4. You can see there's the air conditioning. But like I said, he drives it. Because I think this is, he said this is originally a Horizon base. Like they took a Horizon off the line and made it into this, which is still pretty cool. All right. There was 3 main sources of information when researching the 1985 Cuda outside of the owner. This March 2000 issue of Mopar Collector's Guide, which was funny because the owner had a friend take it to the Mopar Nationals where it was shot. He didn't actually take it there, which just is the way that worked out is crazy. That was the last time it was seen up until now. The next one was a connection that my friend Tim Costello made to a gentleman by the name of Jeffrey Davenport. He actually took the red car home to his parents' house while working at the Belvedere production plant for a weekend, and he has 4 pictures of the car at his parents' house. But the third piece of information was really the largest chunk to give you a glimpse into what these cars were about. This information came from Mike Wolterman, and he worked at Chrysler at the Belvedere production facility, and he gave Hamtramck Historical.com the inside scoop on what had occurred. And these are all his pictures, and these are basically his words. In 1985, Chrysler's Belvedere assembly plant hired 8 engineers fresh out of college, and the plant managers gave us an assignment to develop a Plymouth Performance car based on the 2-door Plymouth L-body to complement the Dodge GLH, or Goes Like Heck, and the Shelby Charger. We could use any parts as long as they were production or Mopar accessory parts. He was the person in the group who had some background with older Plymouths at the time. He had a Superbird, and they thought that since they brought up the Charger name, the Cuda name would be a good mirror to that image. You know, it always had the cool stripes. You know, it was really a neat car. The stripes and the badges were made by 3M to mimic the AAR Cuda stripe. The rear spoiler was from a Daytona and intended to mimic the Go Wings of the 70s and 60s. A G-body spoiler was a very close fit to the L-body hatch, but was not an exact. The wheels were also G-body parts. They had 2 for each car. One was body color, and one was the factory stock chrome. The rear window louvers were factory Mopar accessories, and there was also 2 sets for each car, one in body color, one in black. The lights were from the Dodge GLH, the fog lights, and when it was presented to Chrysler at their headquarters, it didn't move forward. He doesn't know if it was killed by Shelby or not. There's no evidence to really show either way, but it never went beyond these 2 cars. And another cool thing was they were both sold off. One went to my friend's father. The other one went to an Ohio training facility, or a trade school. We don't know what happened to the red one. Another cool fact is there never was a factory Plymouth Turbo L body. These 2 were the only 2 with a turbo VIN number in a Plymouth, which was really, really cool. All right, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video on the 85 Cuda. This car will be on display at the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals 2024. I think we're gonna put it in the lobby. So if you have any comments or questions, leave them below. Or if you have any more pictures or documentation on the car, let me know as well, because I remember seeing more pictures, but hard to remember where. But if I find them before this video goes up, I will put them after this. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed that video from, well, it was Illinois. I was coming back from Magnum Auto Restoration, which will be a video for next week, because next week starts a month of Superbirds and Daytonas. It starts off with the Hurricane Superbird update, the last Hurricane Superbird update up until the unveiling at MCACN, which, speaking of, ooh, I got the MCACN magazine. I'm in it. Some of my pictures are in it. We got the Hurricane Superbird in it. It's going to be one heck of an adventure. We're deep into the final prep for the show, which is really exciting because it's getting nuts. I do the maps for the show and place the vehicles where they are, where the invitationals are. It's insane what we got going on this year. The quality and craziness of the cars. And the cool thing is, this magazine, there's a digital version that you can get. I'll put the link below in the description. It's completely free. You can go click it. You can go through the entire magazine. It'll show you a good idea of everything going on with the show, including this car, the 1985 Cuda, will be at MCACN. That is the plan. He is signed up. It is going to be there. I think we're going to put it in the lobby probably, which should be really, really cool because it's the only one. I mean, all the research I've done, that's all that remains. The red one is maybe somewhere in Ohio. We'll see. You guys let me know. If anyone has seen the red one in the last 20 years, 30, well, we'll see, 40 years, you let me know. So that was so exciting, documenting that car. A car that I didn't think I would see again. I mean, I never saw it in the first place, but the fact that it was in the magazine and then it's on the Barry Washington's website, it was always this just weird car that I always wanted to check out in person, and I thought I had lost that opportunity because the owner had passed. But everything was wrong. All my info was wrong. So I'm glad it worked out the way it did. It was so perfect, the day, going from driving out to Magnum, shooting the car, turning around, shooting the Cuda, and then having dinner with friends, and then driving home. It was the perfect day. It was beautiful out. The blue car ran pretty darn good, so I was very happy. Speaking of the green car behind me, I was working on it earlier this week, for good or for bad. And as in the last update, I was working on painting the trim pieces. I got, there's some up here, some over there. And when I got to the metal trim, I started out, I cleaned everything, I prepped everything. But I only got 3 pieces painted, and those 3 pieces came out really, really nice. The next day, basically, it may have been a day or two, I decided to finish it off. And I'm like, okay. Started painting it just as I had before. I prepped it, I cleaned everything with isopropyl alcohol, 70%, wiped it down, and nothing took. It was garbage. It was splotchy. There was shiny spots, not shiny spots. So bad that I started stripping it all down again, and I ran out of paint stripper, so I had to use some other stuff. But now we're back to green trim. And now the paint stripper that I used this last time stripped this paint almost completely off of the pieces. You can see now that there's bare metal pieces instead of but here, this trim, it didn't strip anything off. It just stripped the terrible black paint. So I don't know what happened. I was really upset. I did finish putting together, for the most part, I need the little tiny trim clips for my door panels. I'll put a picture here. They're basically done. But this week, between now and I think it's November 5th or something like that, there's going to be 2 days in the 80s here in Chicago. So my plan is, since I don't know anyone with a media stripper, I got some new paint stripper over there. It's actually sitting. I'm going to strip these down to bare metal and then go to town with, I bought a new can of trim black. It's over there, and we'll see what happens. But if you guys have any recommendations, maybe a different kind of paint stripper. I know the stuff that I used originally, they don't make anymore with the stuff that can kill you. I know the new stuff isn't as good, but I'm hoping it works. So yeah, been a busy week. And then this week's going to be busy. Oop, that makes a lot of noise. If you guys have any comments or questions on this, the 85 Cuda, the Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals, which is November 23rd and 24th. Where's the 24th, 25th? Hold on. Let me see real quick. Of course, it's not on the main page. 23rd, 24th, yeah. I took that picture right there. Let me know. I will be on my computer a lot over the next few days when I'm not working on the green car. So I will talk to you all soon. You will all stay safe.